Dear students, look at the whiteboard, Unit 3. Today I am going to discuss in what way you will be able to represent your answer of writing main idea or theme of a poem, because it is included in our syllabus. Dream poems, it is also a prominent poem of English literature. Our subject English is divided into two equal parts. One is consisted of literature, that means poems, and novels, dramas, such kind of elements, and other part is consisted of language, that means grammatical points like articles, prepositions, word phrase, modifiers, and such kind of grammatical elements or components. Now I am going to read the poem that is mentioned in Unit 3. Hold fast to dreams. It indicates or implies that the cardinal subject matter or pivotal aspect of the poem is dream. Everybody has a dream, and the poet has wanted to tell here that we must capture, we must grasp all the elements of dream. Dream is the only way in which we can depend for our life. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die. If dream is died, that means if we lose the dreams of our life, then we will be very much disappointed or frustrated. As a result, the poet has told, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. This is the real characteristic of holding dreams, because dream is also the inseparable or essential part of human life. In the next para, the hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Here you will find two important aspects of your life. That means the necessity or essentiality of dreams and the disappointment or frustration within the mind of a man or woman when he or she loses his or her dreams. That means we must hold dreams according to the poet. Now I am going to describe, I am going to illustrate or explain in what way you will be able to make a perfect answer for writing main idea or theme of a poem. I personally believe that you should not memorize or cram any answer belonging to literature, but you should also remember in mind, you should also bear in mind that literature has no bar. So you can also make a perfect note by yourself. Now I am going to write down the methods of writing or making the main idea or theme of the poem. Here the mentionable factor is that I have collected all these points, I have made this perfect note, I have made this complete note only for you, but without quoting any point or a single word from any kind of guidebooks or notebooks. I am again repeating my speech that I myself have made these points, I myself have made these notes only for my students. Now make the notes methods of writing the theme or main idea of a poem. Main idea of a poem. This is called method. This is not the rule, because I have already mentioned here that literature has no bar. All of the students will be able to make your own method. All of the students will be able to make your own notes by yourself, by your own stock of words. But the precondition is that first of all you will have to understand the entire poem from the rudiment to the end. That means from starting to the end. And you will have to realize what the poet has wanted to tell here. That means what is the emphasizing subject matter, what is highlighted in this poem. According to my opinion, in this way you can make your answer perfect, and you will be able to gain a brilliant marks, a remarkable marks by writing the main idea or theme of the poem. This is the methods of writing the theme or main idea of a poem. First of all, read the entire or whole poem from the rudiment or starting to the end. First of all, read the entire or whole poem from the rudiment to the end. From the rudiment to the end. This is the precondition, because if you want to make the perfect answer, if you want to make the proper answer, and if you want to gain the remarkable marks in your answer, then you will have to realize the main theme of the poem, what the poet has wanted to tell here, what is the highlighted matter. Then in the second stage, I am describing here stage by stage. Second stage, find out the perfect meaning of the words present in the poem. Find out the perfect meaning. Find out the perfect meaning of the words. Perfect meaning of the words present in the poem. Present in the poem. In the third stage, find out the deeper meaning. Third stage, find out the deeper meaning. Find out the deeper meaning. Deeper meaning of all the words, written by the poet. Written by the poet. These three stages will propel you in the advancement of your answer. In the fourth stage, try to understand and realize the real purpose. Try to understand and realize the real purpose of the poet. The real purpose or motive of the poet, who has versified this poem. Who has versified, that means who has written this poem for the readers. Versified the poem. And a prominent critic of English literature has told in his writing that the heart or mind of the poet is the birthland of the poem. As a result, all of the poems of the literatures always reflect the writer's view, the writer's thinking and his belief and so on. As a result, you will have to first try to understand and realize the real purpose or motive of the poet who has versified the poem. In the fifth stage, I am going to efface these 3 points. I think these 4 points are very much important and necessary for you. And now I am going to write down the fifth stage. In the fifth stage, more necessary information are waiting for you. In the fifth stage, then the real motive of the poet for versifying the poem will be clear to you. In the fifth stage, the real motive of the poet, for versifying this poem. will be absolutely clear to you. Will be absolutely clear to you. Clear to you. And you must emphasize it. And you must emphasize it. In the sixth stage, you will take the decision in what way you will represent your answer. You will take the decision in what way you will represent your answer. In what way you will represent your answer. You will represent your answer. In the seventh stage, you will have to contain in your mind that your answer must reflect the cardinal subject matter of the poem. You will have to bear in mind. You will have to contain in mind. You will have to possess in mind. You will have to contain. Have to contain in your mind. In your mind that your answer must reflect the cardinal subject matter of the poem. The cardinal subject matter of the poem. Subject matter of the poem. Then in the eighth stage, your language must be transparent, logical and consistent. In the eighth stage, your language must be transparent, logical and consistent. Now I am going to efface these 4 points and I am going to the ending of the discussion, and only 2 points are only waiting for you. Here I have already explained these 4 points, and I must mention here that you will have to realize all of these points. And it is my expectation from my students that my students will realize and understand all of the points that I am going to mention, that I have already mentioned in the class. In the ninth stage, you will illustrate the poet's idea. In the ninth stage, you will illustrate the poet's idea. Illustrate the poet's idea, view and belief that you have found by reading this entire poem in a particular way. Thinking and belief in a particular way. You will illustrate the poet's idea, view and belief and so on in a particular way. And in the last stage, that means 10th stage, In the 10th stage, you will have to remember that you will not mention, you will not include or mention, include or mention any personal example, any personal example from you. Rather, the poet's thinking, the poet's belief, and the poet's opinion, views, and so on will be reflected in your answer sheet. And you will not include or mention any personal example from you, and your personal view will not be mentioned here. Personal view will not be mentioned. Now, I have already mentioned all the methods that I have collected for you so that you can write down the main idea or theme of a poem without memorizing or cramming the main idea or theme of the poem from any notes, from any notebooks or guidebooks. This is not a criticism, but I want to mention here that I always want that so that my students can realize, my students can capture, my student can master the main idea, main theme of the poem, and so that they can be able to answer the questions. That means they can write down the main idea or theme of the poem in their own way, by using their vocabulary, by using their own method, by using their own way of representing the answers. So students, I think all of this information are very much important and necessary for you. I could finish my class only by delivering my lecture without writing down on the whiteboard, but it could have been very much complicated or complex for you to memorize in a single moment. As a result, I have made the notes for you. I am again mentioning, I will mention again and again that I have collected all of these points from my own personal experience, so that you can also make your own answers without cramming or memorizing. And such kind of answers will give you a clear conception, and you will be able to gain or secure or obtain very much remarkable marks in the examination paper. Okay, goodbye.